House, I'm Kristen Drummond, News 3.
All right, Kristen, thank you so much. We have some breaking news just into our newsroom. We are now learning that there is an active shooter at UNLV. This is at a building that is in the business school area of the campus. In fact, we're also hearing from a student who is there on campus that that person is hiding right now. But again, we're getting confirmation right now, as you can see on Twitter, UNLV tweeting out that university police have responded to reports of shots fired there, and they're evacuating a building, trying to make sure that students are safe. And you hear that often call that we hear that they tell students or anyone who finds themselves in this position to run, hide, or fight if necessary. Of course, this is a developing situation. You'll want to stick with us here at News 3 for the very latest. We'll continue to follow all the developments coming out of that, and our thoughts and prayers with anyone if they are in danger right now. We have some new details on the tragic...
Breaking news right now. We're hearing reports of a heavy police presence on the campus of UNLV. UNLV tweeting on X about shots fired near the business school, encouraging students to run, hide, fight. We have several crews on the way, and we'll bring you the latest as soon as we learn more. Metro Police arresting Adriana Ubando for allegedly stealing nearly...
We have some breaking news that we'd like to advise you about at this hour. University officials are advising students to evacuate after confirming an active shooter is on campus. On social media and through email alerts, UNLV officials said the shooter is located in Frank and Estella Beam Hall. They're advising students to evacuate to a safe area. This is a developing story, and we also want to let you know that we just received a tweet from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police reporting that there are multiple victims. They are advising everyone to evacuate the scene, and we are going to be updating this moment by moment for you as soon as we get additional information on this story. To recap for you, Metro tweeted this out, saying there appear to be multiple victims at this time, and they are waiting for more information. Please stay tuned with us here at Channel 13 as we update this evolving situation. Once again, please pay very close attention. We've got some very serious breaking news that we need to let you in on. University officials are advising students to evacuate after confirming an active shooter is on campus. On social media and through email alerts, UNLV officials said the shooter is located in Frank and Estella Beam Hall. They're advising students to evacuate to a safe area. Metro advising there are multiple victims at this time. This is a developing story, and Channel 13 has reporters en route to the scene. We will update this story as soon as we get additional details.
Means for these candidates, there is a sense of...
Well, we're getting reports into the Fox 5 newsroom of shots fired on the UNLV campus. Police have confirmed that this is an active shooter situation and that there are multiple victims at this time. Metro says it just started before noon and you were asked to avoid the area. Police say they will provide an update on the situation soon. And here are some tweets from UNLV that confirm this active shooting. They say that this is not a drill and that everyone should be sheltering in place. And we also got a tweet from Metro saying that confirming that there were multiple victims and to avoid the area of campus near Beam Hall. That again, and here's another live pic of the area. As you can see, there is a heavy police presence in that area. So make sure to avoid that at this time. And of course, Fox 5, we have crews heading that way now, and we'll give you the latest updates on this situation as soon as we get it on air and online. And then one more time, we're going to take a look at these tweets from UNLV that confirm that this is not a drill, that people are being told to shelter in place, that there are multiple victims at this time is what Metro has said. Again, if you're just tuning in, we are getting reports of an active shooter at UNLV. Metro says that it's near Beam Hall and it looks like there are multiple victims. So make sure to avoid this area because as you can see, there's a very heavy police presence, and make sure to keep it with Fox 5, both on air and online. We'll give you the latest as we get it.
Delay here in the West. Next at noon, it's the Valley's first new casino and resort in years. What locals have to say about the Durango. Plus, low inventory and high prices. A breakdown on the new report for home prices in southern Nevada. We'll be right back.
Injury law.
We continue to follow breaking news right now. We're hearing reports of a heavy police presence on the campus of UNLV. UNLV tweeting about shots fired near the business school, encouraging students to run, hide, fight. Now, we have several crews on the way, and we'll bring you the latest as soon as we learn more. The Durango Casino and Resort in the south
is the ugly sweaters like we have on here, and you can get out here and ice skate. All the details we'll have online at 8newsnow.com.
We continue following that breaking news we've been reporting on, hearing of reports of a heavy police presence on the campus of UNLV. This is a live look right now. What we're seeing, UNLV has been tweeting updates, and I'm looking here as well where it says in the tweet, university police continues to respond to an active shooter, and that's what we've been reporting on near the business school, encouraging students to run, hide, fight. We have several crews on the way. We'll continue to update you as soon as we learn more. But right now, we actually have a student on the phone who is locked into a dorm room on campus. Now, joining us on the phone right now is Naja Ali. Naja, can you please tell us what you're seeing or how this all began?
Yes, I live on campus at UNLV, and I am in the upperclassmen complex, which is pretty close to the central campus area, the student union and whatnot. I, like many students, am subscribed to the text message alert system that goes out, and so I got my first text saying that there's confirmed shooter, or that there were threats of a shooter, and then they sent another one following up saying that there is indeed an active shooter on campus. And right now, I just got a text saying university police is responding to a report that there were shots fired in the student union. Mm-hmm. And if you hear all of that noise, there's like helicopters circling around, and within seconds, I could like hear police sirens. Prior to any of this, there were still students walking around, so I was just under the impression that they hadn't seen the text messages yet, or they just weren't aware of the situation, but it's crazy.
Now, again, this is Naja joining us on the phone right now. She is a journalism student at UNLV. Naja, but are you doing okay? Are you safe? Are your friends doing okay as well?
Yes, everyone knows that I live on campus. I've gotten lots of phone calls from all my concerned friends and whatnot. My first reaction when I heard this was to call my friends. As I said, like, we're all journalism majors, so we all know how to communicate what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I just am trying to give everyone updates as much as I possibly can. But I'm safe. Everything's okay. I'm secure.
Well, I'm really happy that you're doing okay. Naja, thank you so much for your time. And also, did you plan going on to class right now? Have they canceled any classes in the moment? What are you hearing?
They've been clearing buildings. I've been getting texts from my teachers. I was supposed to have a final in 30 minutes. I'm assuming that's been canceled. So as far as I'm concerned, everyone's just on lockdown, and teachers are resorting to making sure that students are getting out of the buildings and evacuating safely.
Well, again, Naja, thank you so much for talking with us. Please, please be safe, and I hope everyone, your friends, safe as well. And again, this is a live, thank you so much. Again, this is a live look that we just saw of police presence there. Just everyone is on lockdown there at UNLV. Students are evacuating, like we heard Naja say as well. She is a journalism student. So we'll keep updating you as soon as we learn more. And again, here is another live look. We're seeing police presence. It looks like they're rushing down the street right there, encouraging students via the tweet from UNLV, run, hide, fight, and it looks like there's some traffic there as well starting to pick up as police make their way to the campus. So please, if you're watching this live right now, if you have friends, children, students, or teachers, try to connect with them, make sure they're safe, and we'll continue to follow this as soon as we learn more on air and online. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead. Okay, it looks like we're going to have one of our reporters ready to go live for us with an update. We're seeing her right there, getting ready to go and give us the very latest. Okay, Vanessa. Okay, now we can send it over to Vanessa. Vanessa, what's going on?
Ozzy, you can see just how chaotic this scene is here. We have seen a massive amount of police cars getting to the scene. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see. I mean, we've seen unmarked cars here, lights and sirens. We've seen CCSD police. We've seen Henderson police. We've seen state police. There is one officer here at this very busy intersection at Flamingo and Maryland trying to direct traffic. Now you see a motorcycle officer is going to assist him. But a massive police presence as they rush to this scene. Again, this is a report of an active shooter at UNLV. I did speak with someone whose son goes to UNLV. He says his friends are hiding under tables inside a building. Again, reports of an active shooter at UNLV. We are trying to get information from sources. There you see the marshals are arriving as well. 1, 2, 3, you have Metro. Again, we just want these students, teachers, everyone inside that building to stay safe as we try to get information. Again, reports of an active shooter. You can see traffic is backed up as police officers, as law enforcement rushes to this scene.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa, so much. Again, just to reiterate what Vanessa was talking about, UNLV just putting out a tweet, University Police responding to additional reports of shots fired in the student union. Evacuate the area. That's what they're asking students, teachers there as well. Run, hide, fight. Now, we did speak to a student just moments ago, Naja Ali, who is a journalism student as well on campus. She's doing okay, and she reached out to her friends. She got this alert as well. What you just saw right now with Vanessa, that was on Maryland Parkway. That's what Sherry and I have been talking about, where that intersection was. Reports of an act. Okay, there we go. Okay, we see Flamingo. So I believe that's Maryland and Flamingo. We just heard sirens, police going down the road right there. And also, too, we did see marshals, and Vanessa was saying there was 1, 2, 3 just going down as reports of shots fired. And we have other crews on the way as well. And just to kind of go over again what we're seeing, we're continue following breaking news, hearing reports, and we're seeing now heavy police presence on the campus of UNLV. UNLV has been tweeting updates almost minute by minute about shots fired near the business school, encouraging students to run, hide, fight. And again, the latest tweet that we did see, university police responding to additional reports of shots fired in the student union. So right now, we have on the desk with me David Charnes, hopefully to give us more of an update of what he's hearing from the resources as well.
Right, and we're going to continue to follow this breaking news for you throughout the afternoon as this situation unfolds. Just so my colleague there, Vanessa Murphy, get in front of the screen as she is getting some new information. We are all working our sources to get information from Metro Police, from UNLV Police, as we await to find out exactly what transpired here in the last half hour or so. But Ozzy, we can tell you at about 11:50 or so, our newsroom line started to light up. We saw that tweet from UNLV Police about students running, hiding, and fighting, and that shots were fired on campus. That part is confirmed at this point. Unfortunately, though, that is about as much as we can tell you. We do know that, as Vanessa was just saying, there is a very large police presence here. This reminds me of a time that our valley dealt with just a couple of years ago on 1 October. Unfortunately, a very similar scene we're having here. My phone is actually ringing from someone trying to give me some information here, but we're seeing this just large police presence. This is not a drill. This is an active shooter on the UNLV campus. As we're seeing these live pictures here from Maryland Parkway in Flamingo, a very busy part of our valley, if you're unfamiliar with it. This is right north of the airport, just east of the strip here. We're seeing our photographer move the camera as we're seeing Metro's helicopter here above We don't know exactly the specifics about a suspect at this point, whether police have cornered a suspect, how many victims there may be. We can confirm for you at this point from my sources that several people have been shot inside a UNLV building here, and it appears that they are focusing on one specific building at or near the student union, Ozzy, as you mentioned, which is on Maryland Parkway. So as you're seeing police here try to direct people away from this area, you're looking at a very large crime scene, a very large area where they need to get resources in. So if you are at home and you know someone in this area, please give them a call and say, hey, you need to get out of there, because they need to get as many resources onto the UNLV campus right now as they can. Vanessa Murphy there live at Flamingo and Maryland Parkway. Vanessa, what are you hearing right now?
We are hearing there are multiple victims, but sources say this is, as you mentioned, a very fluid situation. You can just see, I'm going to step out of the way. You see the fire department arriving. I'm going to step out of the way here. Clark County Fire Department. Some unmarked vehicles still coming. CCSD police, Metro Police. You see Metro directing traffic here, but we are hearing there are multiple victims. Again, David and Ozzy, this is a fluid situation, and you can tell just by watching this scene here. We have seen dozens of police vehicles, of law enforcement vehicles, heading to UNLV here. This is Flamingo in Maryland. Anyone who has been here knows this is a busy intersection. And you have UNLV down the block, multiple police vehicles. Again, an active shooter situation. We are trying to get information from sources at this point. We know students are in hiding in classrooms, in the college buildings. Again, a fluid situation.
Joshua is outside. Joshua, you're there as well. Joshua, what are you seeing where you are?
So I will tell you, Ozzy and David, just to get to this area, there was streets being blocked off by multiple law enforcement officers. Right now, as Ryan Matthews stated earlier, there is a helicopter overseeing. We're seeing officers here armed with rifles. Earlier, we were next to one of the UNLV buildings as we were trying to make our way to this scene, and you saw several officers rush into some of these buildings. We saw students who were running away from UNLV scared. You saw a lot of concerned faces among some of the students that we saw walking around. But again, very dynamic scene, multiple law enforcement agencies. I've already seen Henderson, UNLV police, Clark County School Police, Metro, everyone out here with their rifles. Again, as Ryan said, one person who they believe to be the suspect is dead. There also, we learned that Metro is going to hold some sort of press conference in regards to this incident. We're still waiting for a specific time, but they did set up a location, a media staging area. Again, some of our photographers are also stuck behind this yellow police tape that just went up within the last few minutes to try to provide some sort of balance and some sort of stability here to this scene, because it was very fluid before this police tape went up. You saw several people walk over there to the UNLV campus and several people leave, but now it's blocked off. No one can go in and no one can come out. But we're going to bring you the latest. Again, my photographers panning off to different law enforcement agencies. It's just a massive response here to this scene. There's just a lot of unknowns currently. We don't know how many victims we have for sure. We also don't know if there was anyone else involved in this incident. The only thing we do know is that one suspect was pronounced dead, according to Metro. But we'll continue bringing you the latest as this continues to be a very fluid situation.
Joshua Piguero live out there with a student. Joshua, what are you learning?
Hello, David. So I'm here joined by Matthew, who was a student inside the class, and he barricaded his classroom. So Matthew, describe us a little bit about what was going on there.
You know, honestly, everyone was just panicking. We were just having a normal class, and then all of a sudden, someone said active shooter running across, and we had to close the door and barricade all the tables up, about 6 tables up, to make sure that the door wasn't coming out. You know, we just started looking for updates, and, you know, the updates were not even coming through sometimes because the Wi-Fi was bad, or like we were getting updates every like or not every 5 minutes, but like every 10 minutes, and we were just super nervous in there. You know, we know the building. I was in the Guala building, so it's somewhat close to where the building was, but we were getting reports that the shooter was moving and not moving. It's just very scary. You know, it's very scary when you go to a college campus as open as this one. You pay the money to come here, and these are the leaders of tomorrow. You know, we're trying to learn to become leaders of tomorrow, and people are scared now because every time you step on a college campus, there's shootings every single year now, and it's just getting scarier and scarier for us students. I personally have never even been through one, and I wasn't even somewhat close to it, and I'm still scared out of my mind right now. And I'm not even I'm not a person that gets scared like that. So it's just really scary to know that you can be put in these situations out of nowhere, and I'm just very thankful for all the cops to be here to help us out because they got here very fast, and I'm just very thankful for my class to be willing to barricade up and know what to do in these types of situations.
What are you seeing where you are?
Good afternoon, David. About a block away from UMC Trauma, we were the first on scene. We have police blocking off the area both at the intersection here at Shadow Lane and Wellness Way near UMC Trauma and at other intersections around the area. I know this isn't the only intersection blocked off, but it's the only one we can see from our vantage point. Also blocked off at the lot leading to UMC Trauma itself. I witnessed a handful of police cars involved in the street blockage, as well as uniformed officers telling a man in plain clothes exiting an unmarked car with flashing lights that he could get a little further than where the blockade was, where those officers were stationed. But they said he could only go so far. I've also seen 2 ambulances coming and going with no siren, and over the last couple minutes I've heard an increasing amount of sirens, but none that appear to be arriving with their sirens on. I've also seen officers in the Metro SUVs and cruisers, and 1 or 2 on the motorcycle, and most recently crews in the area you're looking at right now in yellow jackets starting to arrive in the area behind us. We will, of course, keep you updated as the scene here unfolds, but reporting live in the shadow of UMC Trauma, Kyle Payne, 8 News Now.
And again, that's Kyle Payne, or UMC Trauma. You know, some of the people that our reporters have been talking to, students. They've been talking to students, and one student that our Vanessa Murphy, or a sibling of a student our Vanessa Murphy was talking to, his sister on campus, telling Vanessa Murphy she's okay. And so many students have never and should never experience something like this. And we're also hearing reports that they're not letting any students out, sheltering in place. Right now, there's just a lot of mixed emotions.
We have Sheriff Kevin McMahill there on the left side of your screen. We expect an update from him any moment there. Obviously, UNLV Police has their own police department, but Metro really steps in when there's a large incident like this. We're standing by on this news conference. Joshua Piguero also standing by. Joshua, you have an update?
Yeah, just right now, as you all looking into the camera, we have the Sheriff McMahill and University Police getting ready to start some sort of media update on what's going on. And so we're just here waiting and standing by. A very tragic situation, as we all imagine, but we're gonna wait a few more minutes to start this press conference, just get an update about the situation and what's going on. They just told us, I don't know if you all were able to hear that, but they're just waiting a few more minutes until other members of the media come.
When you all ready?
Hey guys, we're getting ready. All right, we're getting ready, everybody. Just introduce yourself.
Adam Garcia. Good afternoon. My name is Adam Garcia. I'm the Vice President and Director of University Police Services in Southern Command. Adam, A-D-A-M, Garcia, G-A-R-C-I-A. Wanted to give you just a very short briefing on where we are at this point. Before I do that, I want to introduce Sheriff McMahill, who you see to my
We're going to go. We have actually Heather Mills in studio with us with an update on traffic. David, you were talking about the traffic on the Diamond as well.
And Heather, you probably had trouble coming in yourself, getting into work.
Yeah, actually, and a lot of folks out there kind of in the same situation. The traffic is definitely bunched up. We're taking a live picture here right now from the 15 and Blue Diamond. So here's the deal. They've closed the northbound lanes from Blue Diamond all the way up to Charleston. And the reason they've done that is so that first responders can get in and out a lot quicker. You know, I was just on the 215 coming in from Henderson, and you're seeing lots of first responders flying down the freeway coming into this area. So take notice, you know, give them the space that they need. They need to be on campus. You don't need to be in their way. So you can see the slowdown and the build up there in those northbound lanes. And honestly, around town, it's just as stacked up. So everywhere, just pull over, give them the space they need to get to campus in a quick and safe manner. A lot of closures, though, to talk about as well, and I know you guys have probably mentioned that here on the desk, but NSHE, so that's the Nevada Higher System of Education, all campuses are closed, all events are closed. So UNLV obviously has closed, as well as UNR up north, just in solidarity. So CSN, Nevada State College, all of them are closed for the remainder of today. As for tomorrow, we have not heard yet. Of course, as soon as we get that information, we'll bring it to you. But another big event that's happening, or was supposed to happen this evening, to honor our 2 NSP troopers that were killed last week on the 15. That event has now been postponed out of reverence and thoughts for the victims here at UNLV and the community as a whole, so that we can still come together and mourn those officers as well. Unfortunately, now having to add so many other to mourn as well. So again, lots going on this afternoon. Still looking at that live picture. Just want you to be safe out there on the roads and give our first responders as much space as they need. This is going to be a long day for a lot of folks. So Ozzy and David, I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
You're seeing that picture there, Heather, of all the way down from Blue Diamond. You're looking all the way up the 15 to the Strip, all closed up there to Charleston. We just got some more information on that family reunification, and our team is working to get that on the screen for you. That number that Ozzy was saying, 702-455-AID, and it's like AID, like a teacher's aid, A-I-D-E, to find out information. A website that the chief of the fire department was talking about, facofsouthernnevada.org. facofsouthernnevada.org is the family reunification website. You can also go to the Convention Center, North Hall, the Las Vegas Convention Center. That is at the intersection of Paradise and DI. And folks there from the county will be providing reunification and assistance there. So the county is telling us to tell you that you can call that phone number, you can go to that website, facofsouthernnevada.org, or you can go to the North Hall of the Convention Center, which is on Paradise and DI.
Yeah, and again, that number is 702-4558, and for some people that would be 2433. So let's go ahead and send it over to Kyle near UMC. Kyle, what are you seeing?
Ozzy, we're seeing and hearing some things about a block away from UMC trauma. First of all, in the last little while, UMC sent out a statement essentially saying there have been no patients taken in here from this shooting. This police presence, they say, is mostly precautionary. I'm paraphrasing, but they're ready if called upon, the statement said. And then, you know, in real time, we see that the police have this intersection where we are at Shadow and Wellness blocked off, and they also have the parking lot to UMC trauma blocked off by SUV cruisers and motorcycle units. At about 1:30, right before Metro's press conference, we saw our first ambulance with lights pull into UMC trauma, and then another into Valley Hospital, which is in a little bit of direction off to our right, and we're keeping an eye on that hospital as well. I believe we have a crew setting up there just in case we see intake there. We've also seen this police barricade take some changes since we got here an hour ago. The barricade in front of UMC trauma has been blocked off the whole time, but we've seen the officers moving cones and moving barricades and sort of directing the flow of traffic.
to kind of see the scope of what is going on right now on campus. KJ?
Yes, Denise and David, we have former lieutenant from Metro, Ted Snodgrass, in with us, retired after 30 years in the service. Thank you for your service. You retired in 2011. We've been speaking that you necessarily haven't responded to an incident on campus like this. However, you are well aware of what transpires during these events.
This broke at 11:45 this afternoon. Right now, 3 victims are confirmed. That's what Sheriff Kevin McMahill told us. Our fear is that number is going to climb. The suspect is dead. There is no longer a threat. And then they have opened now the family reunification at the convention center. There's also a phone number where people can call center so everyone's off campus and safe.
And we do also want to take you to our full map of the area as we continue to hammer the reunification process. 702-455-2433. We should get additional information about those locations. And again, the update coming in at 3:40. There's the number to call if you're still wondering what is the exact status. How do I reunite? 702-455-2433. 702-455-AID. AID. Microphone check and all of their information check so they can present in 5 minutes. As we pull up Sasha, Sasha, we just talked about the fact that a lot of these students left car keys, backpacks, and most importantly, cell phones on campus in those classrooms. Where you are, where we see a bevy of traffic behind you, is a crucial location for these parents who can't get a hold of their sons and daughters.
Absolutely crucial, Brian. We are at one of these reunification centers here at the North Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center. We're
because of the fire. We're going to go back to that breaking news we told you just a few minutes ago about a shooting that's been reported at UNLV. Alert was sent out to students telling them to shelter in place or fight if need be. But we're also hearing more from Metro at this hour. They're now telling us through a tweet that multiple victims appear to be injured at this time. This is a preliminary report, again, of an active shooter at UNLV at this hour. This tweet that we just got came down a matter of minutes ago, about 3 minutes ago. We do know that this happened at Beam Hall, that is next to the Student Union, in case you're trying to orient where this is on the campus. They're telling everyone there to shelter in place, to hide if they can, or to fight if need be. Again, this is a developing story coming out of UNLV. Our thoughts with anyone who may be in harm's way at this hour. We'll continue to follow this developing story. You'll want to stick here with us here at News 3 for the very latest. We also have a crew on the scene, and we hope to hear from them any minute now. Now to our weather authority, Dana Wagner, joining us with a look at the forecast.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at some of these tweets. And this is from Brett Forrest, a reporter. He was on campus just fortuitously. And he's tweeting out, I'm currently locked down inside a UNLV campus building. Everyone nearby was told to lock down inside here. Police update just pushed out a confirmed active shooter alert, which you reported. And apparently we have numerous people who are injured right now. Active shooter situation at UNLV. So we're efforting right now to get an interview with Brett Forrest, our reporter who's locked down in one of those buildings at UNLV. And I'm sorry, I'm just preoccupied with that. So we'll talk about the weather here for a second. But
yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, the forecast is great.
Yeah.
So thank you for
I know.
Finding that information out, because of course I'm trying to get to the other story. So I appreciate you giving us that late breaking information.
And we're all, and listen, the newsroom is now we're mobilized, and we're sending every crew that we can down to UNLV, and we're hoping that it's an isolated situation, but the answer is we really don't know right.
Thanks so much. Well, here's a question for you. Can casinos get in trouble for over-serving guests? It's an especially important question in light of the recent trooper deaths that we've suffered. Coming up, we're breaking down the law with attorney Matt Hoffman. Always email him at breakingdownthelawnews3lv.com, and we will see you next week.
Sounds good.
Let's go ahead and check in with our weather authority.
And LaToya, I know that while you're doing the interview, I was checking out some social media feeds here, and this is the latest from the shooting at UNLV. We had reports of an active shooter out there from various police agencies here in town. In Las Vegas locally, who is a person who tweets out on a regular basis on the social media site X, is saying the shooter is down, according to police radio. We have not confirmed this in the newsroom. I want to make that very clear here, but this is a person who has some credibility based on some of his past posts saying the shooter is down, according to police at UNLV. We're doing everything we can to confirm that information. Sun coming up at 6:37 this morning. Back.
One patient is at this hour. Let's go ahead and check in now with Dave Shepard. He's a retired FBI agent who has extensive history in school shootings. In fact, he wrote a book on it. What can you tell us about these type of investigations when you have incidents like this break out, especially on what is considered an urban campus with tens of thousands of students involved?
Interstate 15 were shut down from Blue Diamond all the way up to Charleston. Southbound lanes have been shut down as well. And Kelly, you're showing us a line of cars. I believe those are the northbound lanes very close to Tropicana of people that got caught up in this, and they simply can't get off the freeway. It's a giant parking lot.
All right, so here's what happened. You remember those cars that were trapped there on the northbound side right around Russell? They let them go. So they're out of here now. But unfortunately, I-15 is still closed back here at Blue Diamond, just on the northbound side. Southbound traffic is still moving, as you can see. There's still cars on there. Not a lot of cars, but there still are cars. Now,
Just wanted to help in any way they possibly could.
And they also brought food to the police stations, knowing that the police had lots of work as well. And look at this powerful moment. Let's just take this in.
Reunion.
Let's just take this in.
This is a reunion we're seeing from the Reunification Center at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And I think that's the young man that Tiffany was interviewing just a short time ago. And he was saying that his older brother is his everything. Right now, Metro is getting ready for the news conference. Let's take you to Metro headquarters right now and listen in.
We now are going to share some sound that we got with you from the Education Secretary.
I'm going to start off acknowledging some news that I learned just a few minutes ago. There was a shooting at the University of Las Vegas.
about the likelihood of there being more, but for now we do have some sound from the White House that we'd like to share with you.
I just was told about the shooting. Obviously, we're going to continue to monitor what's currently occurring. I don't want to get ahead of what local enforcements are probably dealing with at this time. You heard me at the top talk about, another shooting that happened in Texas, and certainly this is an epidemic that the president has taken very seriously. That's why he's taken actions, right, and doing more than 24 executive actions and making sure that we deal with epidemic, making sure that people feel safe in their community. And I talked about the second gentleman who's going to be attending a vigil along with our 2 deputies who are helping to head our gun violence prevention office. And so don't have anything to share at this time. Certainly, if we have more, we will share that with all of you, but we are monitoring very closely.
And getting back with you now, Randy, what is the likelihood that there will be more casualties?
Well, we've just seen from demonstrated to us that this situation is so fluid.
Now we're getting reports into the Fox 5 newsroom of shots fired on the UNLV campus. Police have confirmed that this is an active shooter situation and that there are multiple victims at this time. Metro says it started just before noon and you are being asked to avoid that area. Police say they will provide an update on the situation soon. Now here's some tweets that we have seen already coming in. This is one from UNLV that confirms that this is an active shooter situation and telling everybody to shelter in place. They say that this is not a drill to run, hide, and fight. And we also have another tweet from Metro that confirms that there are multiple victims at this time to avoid this area and that there will be more information coming soon. And again, we have a tweet from RTC saying just updating on some closures. It says Maryland Parkway at University Avenue Parkway is closed at this time. So make sure you avoid that area because, again, there's a very heavy police presence in that area. If you're just tuning in, we are getting reports of an active shooter at UNLV. Metro has confirmed, UNLV has confirmed that there are multiple victims at this time. We're still waiting to get more information from Metro. We have some cameras here taking a look at the area around that scene. So make sure to keep it with Fox 5, both on air and online, and we'll give you the latest. But we are still waiting for Metro to give us an update on what's happening, how many victims there are, and if the active shooter is still going. So we're still waiting to learn a lot of information right now. Again, this is an area near UNLV, near Beam Hall. You are being told to avoid that area. There's a very heavy police presence there, and the investigation is still ongoing. So we're, again, keep it with Fox 5 on air and online. We'll give you the update as soon as we get it.
I'm wondering,
We have an update now on the active shooter situation at UNLV, so let's listen into what a student has to say.
A little nervousness, but for some reason, I did feel safe. I didn't hear anything, which kind of helped me. They said that was in the building next door. I didn't hear anything. Apparently supposed to be multiple shots, but I heard helicopters. That make me feel better too. And what about yourself?
I felt the same exact way. I definitely heard screaming from next door. I thought it was something, but I think it was just the cops coming into the student union. We were located at the student union, which is right next to the BEH building, which is where it all went down. But it was just super scary, hearing that. We all, as a class, in the ballroom, we were just so scared. I feel like we should have shut the lights off or something, but we definitely went in the corner, evacuated, and, we wanted more because we just got these alerts and we were kind of scared. But, it all happened so quick. And then we see the window and everything as we're leaving, and, it was scary. It's really scary.
So during all that time, what's going through your mind when this is happening?
Going through my mind, honestly, I was just like, I need to get out of here. I feel like, everyone should just, I didn't want to stay in this classroom. I wanted to just, run from it all. And I was just so scared. Something about it was just, my heart was just pounding, everything. But when I saw the window, I was like, wow, this is actually happening. I was really scared, but yeah.
Now that you've had a moment to kind of process some of the things, what are your thoughts? How crazy is this situation? What are your thoughts on this?
Came out of nowhere. I thought we were in the worst situation possible because it was a ballroom surrounded by glass. That's what I was worried about, but Like I said, I didn't hear anything, so that made me feel a little better, but I'm waiting for updates. I haven't heard anything.
And I didn't get your name.
I'm Cassidy. Yeah.
Cassidy, last name?
Barton. Barton. Yeah.
So we're hearing now from students who were on UNLV campus at the time of this active shooter. Now, I do want to say one thing that Metro has confirmed is that the suspect was located and is now deceased. So we know that the shooting started happening just before noon on the UNLV campus near Beam Hall, and we did get reports of shots fired at the student union as well. Now, we did talk to students who were on campus at the time. They said that they sheltered in place for about 30 minutes before they got to evacuate. We were also told that students were hiding in the library as well. Students did say that the school communicated very well. They got alerts to their phone that told them where the active shooter was and to shelter in place and to stay put. Now, at this time, we do know that there were multiple victims. Police have confirmed that there are multiple victims, and this area around the school is shut down, so make sure you avoid this area because there's a very heavy police presence there. So you're being told to avoid the area. But again, most important to note is that the suspect has been located and is now deceased. This has been confirmed by police, but at this time there are still buildings that are locked down and there's still a very heavy police presence there. So make sure you avoid this area near University and Maryland. So we have sent multiple crews out there at this time. So right now we are waiting to get an update from Metro Police. We've also reached out to other police entities as well to find out if they're involved in this as well. So that's information that we'll be passing along. We'll also be working to find out how many victims there were and their status at this time. So that's something we're waiting to get updated on. So make sure to keep it here with Fox 5, both on air and online. We're still waiting to get those updates. Okay, so we're going to hear from a student who was on the campus at the time.
Apparently people started running out, and when I looked, I didn't know what to do. I thought it was just one person. I said, oh, why is that person running? And then I saw like 20 people running. And that's when I realized, oh, I need to get out of here. And as we were going, somebody in the crowd informed me that, oh yeah, there's an active shooter on campus. Somebody got shot or shots were fired.
Did you hear those shots?
I didn't hear the shots, but apparently other people in my area said they did, so maybe I just wasn't listening.
What was running through your mind when you heard that there was an active shooter on campus?
Well, at first I was actually kind of confused, because what do you do in a situation like that?
And the large footprint of closures all across the UNLV area, across Maryland, across Tropicana, that is a massive crime scene at this point. And it's also where a number of evacuations are going underway. There are still, at this hour, buildings being evacuated one by one in an orderly fashion, and then students and staff being able to get on RTC buses and taken to the convention center. So that large footprint is still in place. Also, Harry Reid says that there are road closures around the airport as well, and that may impact your ability to get to the airport. And Harry Reid says to make sure to check your flight status to make sure your flight is not affected.
Here is a statement released by Vitalant that we talked about a few moments ago. Vitalant sent approximately 50 additional units of blood products to an area hospital in response to the shooting, and we stand ready to provide more support if requested. Those who would like to support the community blood supply following this horrible incident are encouraged to give blood in the coming days and weeks. And just to give you a better idea of where this shooting happened, it happened behind the student union, that giant building you see. Just beyond that building is Beam Hall. That's where business students go for their classes, and that's where the shooting happened. So this was, as we heard from a student, this was the last full day of classes before final exams begin next week. We don't know if those will still happen, because oftentimes when something like this happens, schools and universities push back those final exams until after the break, just to give students some space.